Title: The Ink Mirror. The Echo Library dust danced in silent spirals, caught in the sunbeams that filtered through the library's tall ogive windows. The air, thick and laden with the scent of old paper and oblivion, weighed on Alara's shoulders like a shroud. She had found the place by chance, lost among the winding streets of a town that seemed frozen in time. A faded plaque, almost erased by rust, announced, "Arcane Library, Forbidden Knowledge Curiosity." That sweet poison had dragged her inside. Infinite shelves rose into the dimness of the vaulted ceiling, filled with volumes bound in faded leather, some tied with rusty chains. The silence was absolute, broken only by the furious beating of Alara's heart. She felt watched, even though she was alone. A secluded table in the center of the room held a book. It was unlike any other. It had no title, its cover was of a smooth, black leather, with no adornments, no inscription whatsoever. It was like a black hole in the sea of books. Alara felt an irresistible attraction, as if the book were calling to her. With trembling fingers, she lifted the heavy cover. The paper was yellowish, brittle to the touch. The words were written in an elegant, archaic script, a language Alara did not recognize. But as her eyes traced the lines, a voice whispered in her mind, soft as an icy caress, "I'm watching you." A shiver ran down her spine. She looked around, gripped by panic. The library remained empty, silent. It was her imagination, she told herself, the echo of her own anxiety. She returned to the page. The voice returned, louder, more defined. "I'm watching you, Alara." Her name. How did it know? She slammed the book shut, her heart hammering against her ribs. She wanted to flee, to run out of that cursed library, but her legs would not respond. She was paralyzed by terror. She opened the book again, cautiously. The words had changed. Now they formed sentences in English, horrible sentences, that spoke of lurking shadows, of lost souls, and of an ancient entity that fed on fear. "She waits," Alara read in a low voice, almost inaudible. "She waits for you." Suddenly, the pages began to turn on their own, with a frenetic rhythm. The words twisted, deformed, forming grotesque images that seemed to emerge from the depths of a nightmare. Alara recoiled, stumbling over a chair, her mind on the verge of collapse. Then she saw it. On a page, in the middle of a twisted paragraph, a reflection appeared. It wasn't her reflection. It was her, but distorted, caricatured into a mask of horror. Her eyes were empty sockets, her mouth a hungry grin. The reflection smiled. Alara screamed, a stifled cry that was lost in the silence of the library. She slammed the book shut with all her might, but the image persisted in her mind, burned into her memory. When she opened her eyes again, she found herself staring directly at the page. The reflection was still there, waiting. But now it was different. It looked more like her, almost identical, except for an intangibly sinister quality in its expression. The voice, once a distant whisper, resonated in her head like thunder. It was a female voice, but distorted, broken by pain and evil. "You shouldn't have opened it," the voice said. "Now I'll see you forever." The reflection extended a hand from the page, a pale, bony hand. Alara tried to back away, but she was trapped, as if she were glued to the book. The hand grabbed her wrist, with surprising strength. "Let me go!" Alara screamed, struggling in vain. The reflection pulled her, trying to drag her into the book. Alara felt her feet lifting off the floor, her body becoming light, incorporeal. She fought desperately, clawing at the table, trying to cling to reality. But the reflection's strength was unstoppable. She was being sucked into the book, toward an abyss of darkness and madness. Just when she was about to disappear, Alara remembered something. An ancient amulet she wore around her neck, a gift from her grandmother, a protection against dark energies. She gripped it tightly, praying that it would work. The amulet glowed with a faint light, repelling the entity. The reflection screamed, a high-pitched, piercing note that made the windowpanes tremble. The hand released her. Alara fell to the floor, gasping, trembling from head to toe. The book slammed shut, with a dull, ominous sound. The reflection had disappeared. She got up unsteadily and ran, fleeing the library, fleeing the town, fleeing the nightmare she had awakened. She didn't stop until she was far away, very far away, in the safety of her home. But the voice was still there, in her head, a persistent echo that tormented her day and night. "I'm watching you, Alara. I'll see you forever." She was never the same again. She lived with the constant fear that the reflection would return, that the entity would claim her. She looked in the mirror with apprehension, fearing to see the distortion, the mask of horror. One night, as she was preparing for bed, she noticed something strange in her reflection. It was subtle, almost imperceptible, but it was there. A shadow in her eyes, a slight curve in her smile. She approached the mirror, examining her face closely. And then she saw it. Behind her, in the reflection, there was another figure. A figure that looked like her, but wasn't her. It was the reflection from the book, waiting in the darkness. Alara screamed. And the mirror shattered into 1,000